back to Niner Tech Talks. My name's Braden. I'm here with Harsh, Taylor, and Kirk, and today we're talking about how AI is destroying creativity in today's youth. Taylor, tell us about it. What's going on?
So when you look at how people use resources now to find sources on how to creative write, whether it be an essay or a story, people have now started using AI as kind of like a resource to, I guess, write what they're trying to write. And it's kind of affected their brain activity. It's made people more lazy. So rather than looking for sources, they're looking for AI to write their entire paper. There's actually been studies where people have used OpenAI or Google as opposed to using ChatGPT, and their brain activity is a lot lower when they're using ChatGPT because ChatGPT promotes laziness in the fact that it essentially does everything for you as far as finding sources and writing your own paper. So Harsh, did you want to expand on that a little bit more?
I would also like to expand on the creative side of using ChatGPT. For example, recently in the Super Bowl, we saw many advertisements that were very clearly AI generated and didn't really connect with the audience. And I remember the Svetka ad in specific, where it was just two robots dancing and drinking, which doesn't really resonate with me and wouldn't encourage me to buy their vodka. What about you, Kirk?
I think it's super interesting how creatively we've declined, and even in literacy, due to AI. In the past 5 years, we've been seeing a decline in teens and elementary school children lowering their literacy rate and not learning how to write as much, and we've seen teachers quit because of it, which is why we've seen such an increase in demand for teachers over the years.
Yeah, definitely. And I also feel like I'm guilty of that as well. Like, I think that when I think that something isn't that important or something is too long, sometimes I'm guilty of putting it in the ChatGPT and saying, shorten this for me, make this make sense to where I don't have to read this whole paragraph, paraphrase it into like 2 sentences. And I feel like just small things like that over time can shorten your attention span, your ability to read and comprehend. Like, it's just cognitively, it makes you, I don't want to say incompetent, but I feel like it makes you a little bit more incompetent as time goes on, definitely.
I think that's definitely a great point. I think it's really important that we consider how this affects the whole way our world functions. As these people graduate and as these people go through the education system and really kind of cop out and don't get the full out of their learning experience, these are the people that are entering our workforce. These are the people that are going into the medical field to save lives, the people that are writing books for entertainment or for historical accuracy. And if we have people who don't know what they're doing or we rely on AI, we're not hiring people anymore, we're hiring robots. And I think that poses a big issue. What do you guys think about that? Harsh?
I definitely agree. An example of that, I would say, there are many bots found in Spotify listening to encourage money and popularity between artists, and that's another example of how you can use AI to boost the representation of your audience, which is not natural, and I don't believe it's ethical.
If we look at this from a government perspective, they're starting to implement laws that say you have to watermark if you use AI content. And this should hopefully help get us away from the misinformation and how sometimes when you use ChatGPT to creatively write or even write a historical paper, it'll just make up facts about a war or give you the wrong information or the wrong date about certain things.
Yeah, so really interesting points we talked about today. We talked about how AI is destroying creativity through how we're not learning as much, how government is trying to limit that, but how it may not be as effective quite yet. So the question I want to leave us with today is, are we going to let AI take over our brain space, or are we going to make the change and go back to thinking for ourselves again? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.